Welcome back to Ethereum's community, guys. Thank you very much for continuing to follow us. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please press the red subscribe button and activate the alarm bell so that you get notified about all of our upcoming videos. This is the first of a series of interviews dedicated to existing EthOS community members. We've got a special guest today called JPN, so I hope you enjoy what he's going to say. Stay with us. Hey JPN, thanks for joining us today. We're really glad to have you on the channel. Why don't you tell the audience what's your real name?
So my real name's actually John, and my Telegram name was supposed to be John, but the P and the O key are right next to each other, and that's how JPN was born.
Awesome, awesome. And then I can hear a bit of American accent there. Where are you based? Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm actually from the United States, over in Ohio.
That's awesome. What's the big city there in Ohio?
Columbus and Cleveland, and I'm somewhere in between the two there.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Hopefully one day you'll get to fly over to Europe and we'll meet in person. I look forward to that.
I'm hoping so.
Cool. So how long have you been in crypto for?
I actually got into crypto right in 2020, just as we were going into the summer of 2020. There was a big crash right about then, and I got into the space about then, and been getting more and more involved ever since.
Amazing. And is that also when you started hearing about EthOS? How did you find out about it?
Yeah, I found out about it from my brother, actually. He got into crypto a couple of months before me and was having some success. He read a bunch of white papers. And at one point, he told me about this thing called DFO Hub. And he said, oh, this is going to be really cool. It's like the GitHub of crypto or something. And I was like, that sounds like a cool project. I'm getting in on that, and bought in then and started to research it some. And now we're here.
Now we're here, indeed. And is that what made you follow the project up to this point, or was there any other particular reason for it?
Yeah, his recommendation got me to look into it. And after I started to do a little bit of reading and see some of the early videos on DFO Hub, I thought, oh, this is really great. They're addressing some of the big issues in the crypto space with this project, and wanted to invest in that idea. Okay,
awesome. And, on the channel, we've been talking about for quite some time about the project. So hopefully our audience has already kind of understood what the main points are about and what the team is trying to achieve. But what do you think really sets this project apart from existing crypto projects which are already out there?
I think the real big thing is they don't just have an idea for, the developers don't have an idea for just a single project on the Ethereum network. They have an idea for all future dApps and all future projects on the Ethereum network. It's this idea and mindset about how to code and how to do it responsibly, from responsible DeFi to making sure that your code has integrity. And it's really that idea of they want to change how developers can develop stuff for Ethereum.
And, obviously the idea is that this becomes the operating system, the go-to operating system on Ethereum. And how far do you think we are towards that objective?
I think we're already there in a sense. The contracts are launched already. The basic core functionalities are out there on the blockchain already, and anyone can go ahead and interact with them. From a full-fledged, nice user interface, polished contracts, I think we're probably somewhere in the range of 3 to 5 years from it really taking over the space and being the de facto operating system for Ethereum. But I anticipate we get projects start onboarding even this year and over the next sort of 2 years while it's in sort of an open beta state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we are aware that to begin with, the project started off as almost 3 standalone projects. Certainly from a public perspective, it came across like it was 3 separate businesses. We had Unify, which then became Covenants. We had Items, and then we had Widow. And now they're all falling under the same OS umbrella. But given that there are a lot of services within the EthereansOS ecosystem, what would you say is your favorite feature so far?
I think my favorite feature is still the original DFO hub, this idea that you can have an organization or a dApp and be able to build on it like Legos, where it's not just one large centralized contract that when you have to upgrade, well, we abandon the old contract and we have to go get a new contract. It's this idea of, oh, we can go ahead and break that one large contract into a bunch of smaller ones as these NFTs. And then when we need to upgrade a part of it, well, we simply swap one NFT for another one. And we've upgraded the whole protocol without throwing out a lot of good code and having to redeploy and, do new token swaps and all that other stuff. So this idea of being able to fractionalize into small parts and just upgrade the parts that need changed as you can go ahead and keep developing your dApp or your DAO. I think that's still the most exciting thing for me.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we've seen the launch of the new platform in the back end of last year. Some of the modules were already available from the get-go, and some other modules are gradually being released as we're going along. What would you say is the module that you are most looking forward to?
The one I really want to start playing with is going to be Covenants when it fully comes out. This, being able to interact with AMMs in a different way with this backend, it seems like it's going to be this very powerful tool that's going to enable all sorts of, routines going forward, from everything from personal use to DAO use to other dApp uses. Being able to set up these complex routines much simpler than you used to be able to, while also being forward thinking, where, hey, if the new AMM comes out that's has some other really cool feature, you can just go ahead and say, we'll add that one into the whitelist real quick, with a dynamic metadata update, and suddenly you have access to every new AMM that comes out without some big relaunch of Covenant. So I want to be able to play with that and see what sort of finance routines are possible with it.
Indeed. The team is working really hard in the background and is trying to expedite as much as possible the modules. So, we all expect that at some point this year, we're going to have like a fully completed version that everyone can enjoy and leverage. But, like in every other project, there are things that work better than others. Like it's not completely normality. And so what would you say is one area that can currently be improved?
I think one area that they can improve on, and I think it's been deliberate that they haven't yet, is really community outreach and trying to announce both to other projects as well as to, investors that, hey, we have this really cool tech that we've been developing. We think it answers a bunch of, current problems on Ethereum, and trying to draw in, both investors as well as other developers. I'm sure they're doing some of that in the back end, but it's not super transparent to anyone who's just following the project. So I think that's going to ramp up, but it's been deliberate that they haven't done a ton of outreach because they still see this as sort of an open beta. Yeah, the contracts are launched. They trust those contracts are launched, but they don't have all the tools to interact with those contracts yet, that front end. So it's deliberate that they really haven't done a ton of outreach yet, in my opinion. And the thing that they can't really help, that just the nature of this project is, fees on Ethereum right now. It can be pretty expensive to, do everything from wrap items to do some of these more complex Covenants routines. So that's something I hope Ethereum addresses. And if not, well, we've heard that colonies are the potential layer 2 solution that the devs are looking into. So yeah, there's even a chance that they are working to address those problems right now.
You think 2022 is finally going to be the year where we see these Ethereum fees coming down once for all?
I hope we see F2, everything from, sharding to you know, moving fully to proof of stake instead of proof of work. I hope that we see that here in 2022. I think that would be really nice to have F2 2022, but we'll see. That's on, you know, the Ethereum community in general to go ahead and get that launched out. But I think it's all stuff that's going to be addressed. They're going to be able to address fees one way or another, whether that's L2 or sharding or proof of stake bringing down fees. I'm not quite sure what the answer is or how that's going to look, but a lot of people are working to bring down Ethereum fees. So we'll see that. And if not, you know, we'll move and have an L2 solution.
That's right. So for those who follow the channel for quite some time, so they would have seen that we've been talking about delegations quite a bit, especially in over the last few videos. And also from the perspective of the core team, delegation is one of the big introductions for the new version of the platform. So how significant do you think delegations are going to be, and how instrumentals are going to be towards the development of the EthereansOS ecosystem altogether?
I think they're sort of the future of how projects are going to be fully decentralized, because even right now, you know, you have a team of developers, and as decentralized as EthOS is, we're relying on these core developers to go ahead and, you know, keep publishing updates to the project, doing the marketing, and you know, and all other dApps. It's really, you know, this team that handles everything. Well, we're moving into this new age where we can have these delegations, and they can go ahead and take on some of those responsibilities that, you know, in the past teams have been responsible for. Everything from marketing and community outreach, like you guys do with Ethereans community, to what Max Flyer's delegation is doing with trying to put on these hackathons to go ahead and get, you know, the factory code into the project and get people to start building using the tools. So it's really decentralizing what a normal crypto team would be responsible for, to put it onto the community, so that it's no longer, you know, one central linchpin in the project is just, you know, the devs and a core team. That itself gets decentralized. So it's really cool to see that, you know, we're not only moving to decentralization on chain, but also decentralization of the stuff that happens off chain.
Yeah. And, you know, we've seen a lot of improvements and a lot of developments on this project over the last 12 months in particular. So without really going too far ahead in the future, where do you see EthOS over the next 2 to 3 years?
2 to 3 years, I think right in that 2 to 3 year time frame is where we're going to see a lot of projects start to adopt those standards. It's going to take, you know, probably 2 or so years here of, you know, a handful of projects starting to use these tools and build dApps. But once other, you know, the developer community as a whole can see, wow, these developers were able to go from this idea to a fully working project using EthOS in a record amount of time, that they'll be like, maybe we should also be using those tools for future projects. So it's going to be this, once the ball gets rolling, you get, you know, 1 or 2 projects start to use it, and then 3 or 4, it's going to go to 10, 20, 100, 1,000 projects. And then suddenly everyone's going to be building using the platform because it's the best way to code on Ethereum.
We'll look forward to that.
Oh, yes.
So, mate, thank you very much. This has been really informative. I really appreciate that you've tried to articulate your thoughts into a language that is comprehensible by both, you know, people that don't have a technology background and those that have it as well. Do you have any final takeaways for our audience? Anything that you want to mention or bring up?
I think final takeaways are, we're trusting these developers. They have come a long way here in about 3 years or so is what they've been working on the projects, you know, 2 or so since DFO Hub launched a token. And that's the exciting part, is we're still early enough on in this project to see this story evolve. And the developers, that they have under-promised and over-delivered every step of the way so far. And I think, even if we don't hear a lot from them all the time, they're working really hard in the background, whether it's getting the front end worked on, developing new code. In fact, I've seen Vasa working on something on the GitHub called Dex as some sort of items extension. So I think that's something exciting that they're working on, and that we'll hear more from them going forward here. To outreach to other projects, where I'm sure they're working with other projects and trying to get them to develop on EthOS, to go ahead and use those standards to build guilds and organizations and their own delegations for their projects, to launch items as their governance token, and to start using covenants to really manage their finances and their treasuries for these new DAOs. Amazing. So I'm sure they're doing a lot in the background, and even if it's quiet sometimes, they're working hard, and we're going to see the fruits of that very soon.
I'm sure we will. Okay, buddy, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we'll get to bring you back on the channel in the near future for some more contributions. You're more than welcome whenever you want to do something with us. And for our audience, I hope you guys enjoyed today's videos. Stay tuned, as we're going to bring you more of these type of interviews from existing community members of EthOS. And on that note, see you soon.